Hi everybody, this is Flat Cap Cafe Racer. In this video, I'm going to do something a little I haven't done before, and I'm going to discuss my favorite brands. Uh, I'm going to pick 25 brands I'm familiar with, and we're going to go from the bottom to the top, and I'm going to tell you about some models that I like in each one of them, and I'm kind of curious to how you see it. So stay tuned. Okay, let's start out with number 25 is Benelli. Benelli motorcycles started way back in 1911, and it's a sentimental favorite of mine because I really loved that six-cylinder they built. Since 2005, they've been owned by a Chinese group, which is the largest capacity of manufactured motorcycles in China. One of the favorites in this out of this current group for me is the TRK 502, which appears to be a very good value. Okay, moving on to number 24, it's AGS Motorcycles, another older brand started by, again, brothers, this time four brothers instead of six. AGS was plodding along from 1909 to 1931, where it was acquired by Matchless. Then stayed with Matchless until 1966 when it became part of the Norton Villers Group. In 1974, one of the managers, I think his name was Fluff Brown, freed them from Norton Villers and become AJS again. They make a really cool 125, which I like. It's in the Heritage range. It's the Cadwell 125. I like the black one very much. It's only about 3,000 pounds. They also make 50cc to 125cc scooters. So number 24, AGS. Number 23 are Hero motorcycles. And the story of Hero really is what's got it for me on number 23, that and its names. Heroes never really made it to the U.S. They had a 50% stake in Eric Buell Racing. When that collapsed, I think so that they're venturing to the United States. But Hero was associated with Honda from 1984 with joint ventures until I think 2009 or 2010. But what I really like about the Heroes, not any particular models, although I do watch them on some YouTubes from India. I like the 110 Splendor iSmart. But their names are really kind of fun. Hunk 150, the New Glamour, the Passion, and Pleasure models. Hey, right there, they got to make the list of the names. Up until now, the three previous manufacturers were started by brothers and developed into something else, and really neat brands, and some of them with legacy going back, 100 years or so. But number 22, Sentus, is a relatively new brand that I haven't heard of before. They are UK based out of Brighton. They are manufactured in China. They do claim to have where they use factories partnered with Suzuki, Harley-Davidson, and Yamaha. They have a really neat group of 125s, adventure cruisers, adventure bikes, cruisers, and sport bikes, and nakeds with cool names like Hoodlum and Outlaw and GPX, and really neat. And I think they use the Yamaha 125 engine for those. But I guess my favorite is this brand is the Sentus Terrain 380. Okay, brings us number 21, Gas. I'm going to pick up the pace going forward here a little bit faster. I feel like I need to explain 22 through 25 since there's not so much of the motorcycles are favored, just as a legacy companies, and kind of neat stuff. But number 21, Gas is a Spanish bike builder that started building in 1985. It's now owned by KTM in 2019. It specializes in off-road motorcycles for trials and enduros, and they make a really nice trials bike here, and then they have a pretty nice little enduro bike too. I think their range is roughly 300 to 450 cc's. The last line at the bottom on the pyramid here is number 20. It's Pulsar. And it's two reasons, and I won't say his name right. Naladri, I'll spell it here on the screen. He rides a Pulsar, or he did ride a Pulsar NS200. And Pulsar is an Indian brand, and he rides in India. He's probably the bravest dude I've ever seen riding a motorcycle. And they make the list for him, and the fact that they are being linked with Triumph to make mid-range capacity bikes, off-road bikes. So that's why Pulsar's here. At number 19, I have Husqvarna. I'm not going to get into any kind of conflict probably until I get to number 12. So Husqvarna here in the United States, they make, you see enduro models, street models, supermotos, and motocrosses, which I grew up with. They do have a line of, the most popular ones are here around here would be the 401s, Vitpillens, and Svartpillens. Although they do have a 125 Svartpillen that they're debuting here in the United States. We'll no longer see the 701 Vitpillen here, as far as I know. However, the most popular one will have to be the Norden 901. I think that's what got Husqvarna on the list here for me. Number 18 is another kind of legacy company's Jawa, or Jawa Moto. But when my first recollection, it was Jawa, it was a Czechoslovakian company. And 1970, when the 350 Californian was gracing the motorcycle magazines with its rawness. Something I appreciated about its toughness and rawness behind the Iron Curtain that appealed to me. The name changed to Jawa Moto in 1997, and they changed ownership to Indian company Mahindra in 2018. And they make two really nice models here. It's very popular in India. It's the Jawa 42. Jawa 42 is a 300cc bike, and the Jawa, I think it's pronounced khaki. It's a pretty nice looking bike. Number 17 on the pyramid is Aprilia. Now this might be a little bit low for some of you, but I have limited exposure to Aprilia, although it's moving quickly up on my pyramid. They have the new exciting Touareg 660. It looks awesome, and I think the engine's going to be really great on it. I think then the next one on the line probably for me would be the RS 660, which would be something I would consider owning. Maybe not in this color combination, but probably the best sounding motorcycle I've heard through the YouTube is the Tuono V4. I have not ridden one, but it sounds gorgeous. Number 17, Aprilia. At number 16, I have Suzuki. It's hard for me to have Suzuki down this far, since I've been a big fan of the Suzuki since 1967, when I first saw the X6 Hustler, the little 250 that ran with the big boys. I also was an admirer of the 1972 GT750 Water Buffalo, but at the time my heart was more with the Kawasaki two-strokes. And I remember seeing the GSX-R 750s back in 1985 and out in the racetrack and admiring those. One of the other bikes that I thought was really a good bike and good value for the money was the SV650. And finally, the one I come close to buying but never did pull the trigger on was the V-Strom 1050 XT. At number 15, I have BSA. BSA wasn't even on my radar till a few months ago. You know, this is a company that started making motorcycles in 1910 and went through a rough patch and finally ended up practically ending in 1973 before being resurrected by the Mahindra Group out of India in 2021. But they've got a really good bike coming back with this BSA 650. I love the way it looks on the Gold Star. I think it's going to, if they price it right, it's going to be a big seller. It's good to have BSA back. Number 14, Kawasaki, dropped off of my most favorite brands after a couple decades, and I've just started coming back to them now. I started on a 1970 on an A7 Avenger and lusted after the Kawasaki 750 two-stroke Mach 4, but the bike that really brought me back to Kawasaki a little bit are these Z900 RSs, first the special edition or the anniversary edition, either one. Good job, Kawasaki. I intended to make this a single video, but it's running so long, so I'm going to cut it here at number 13 on the Indian. Then we'll have to make a part 2 for the remaining dozen, so come back and see the remaining dozen. Indian makes number 13 for me because of the comeback they've made and how successful they have been in the American flat track. So my favorite model is the FTR 1200, and I'll show you a couple of examples of the flat trackers. Good job, Indian. In a couple more days, we'll have part 1 and have all 25 filled out. And I'll be curious to where you have all your favorite brands. If you have any of the same brands, or you have a lot of different brands. So stay tuned. Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.